Hi everyone and welcome to Drive, your source for automotive reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations. Please subscribe to our channel, watch the entire video, and of course click on notifications to be first to learn about new videos. I'm Chris Capredoni, and this how-to video walks you through a brake fluid flush and four-wheel brake bleeding procedure. Fluid should be replaced approximately every 2 years depending on driving habits and how much moisture is in the environment where the vehicle is being operated. The general rule is the higher the moisture, the shorter the replacement cycle. Part of my procedure is to replace all four brake bleeder screws to ensure the chances of them seizing or getting stripped is greatly reduced. They are the weakest part of any caliper, and if they cannot be loosened to perform the air bleeding procedure, you cannot properly bleed all four brake lines, meaning that your brake performance will be greatly reduced. Let me get set up and we'll get started. The tools and supplies required to do a brake fluid flush and brake line bleed are fairly simple. You will need approximately 1 liter, 1 quart of new brake fluid. For this vehicle, it requires .4 fluid. Check with your owner's manual or online to determine if you require .3, .4, or even .5 for your brake system. Remember to properly collect the old fluid and dispose of it environmentally. You will require the proper sized open box wrenches, either in metric or imperial. This vehicle requires a 10mm wrench. Do not use an adjustable wrench. This will eventually lead to slipping and rounding the head. The closed end of the open box wrench is the best side to use to ensure proper fit, if you can. In some cases, you will need to use the open side. As I stated earlier, replacing the brake bleeder screws is a good preventative measure to ensure they always work properly, especially if you operate your vehicle in snow or rust belts. Finally, consider investing in a vacuum pump kit. These kits I have discussed before, and they can be used to burp power steering systems and bleed air out of brake lines. They create negative pressure in the lines, which forces the air out. If you like the traditional method, have someone pump and hold the brake pedal as you open and close the bleeder screw to let compressible air out of the system. Slow and steady is the best way to purge the brake lines. I've already removed all of the old brake fluid from the system. Now it's time to refill the master cylinder. It's empty. This particular vehicle, this Buick, takes .4. So what I do is I go over to the master cylinder with a funnel and start filling it up to the maximum line. So the device I have here is used for power steering bleeding as well as brake bleeding. What you do is you hook it up to the bleeder screw and open it up, attach this, and what it does is it creates pressure in the system. As you can see, I start pumping, and what happens is it starts forcing out all of the air in the system because I've just put new brake fluid in. And you can see by the color, it's also cleaning out any remaining old brake fluid. And I will continue to do this until all I see is solid brake fluid in the line. And then I know that I've bled this brake. Usually you start with the back, but since I've got so much air in the system, I thought I would start purging the front first. As I stated earlier, if you do not have a pump or prefer the two-person system, again you hook up the tube to the bleeder screw and the other end of the tube is submerged in a container of old brake fluid so that you do not introduce any new air into the system when bleeding the lines. Open the screw and have someone slowly pump the brake pedal all the way to the floor, and then slowly release. Keep doing this until you notice no more air coming out of the caliper. Once this happens, have the person hold the pedal all the way to the floor, and then you tighten the bleeder screw. This process can take anywhere from 10 seconds to up to 5 minutes per caliper, depending on how much air is in the system. Be patient and do this job correctly. Once you have bled all the brake lines, check that the master cylinder brake fluid is at the maximum fill line, put the cap back on, reinstall the wheels, and take it for a test drive either in your driveway or on a safe stretch of road that no one is on. If the brake pedal feels spongy, you still have air in one or more of the brake lines and need to perform the bleed procedure again. Start with the rear right caliper, in most cases the farthest and longest brake line, and proceed to the left front wheel, typically the shortest line. Check the master cylinder for proper brake fluid level and test the brakes again. Thanks everyone for watching this tutorial on how to perform a brake fluid flush and bleed procedure for all 4 calipers for any car, SUV, or truck. I hope you found it easy to follow and beneficial. Please remember to always properly lift and secure your vehicle anytime you remove 1 or more wheels. Also use proper eye protection. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and select the notification option. Drive, your source for automotive reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations.